Alright, welcome back guys. So this is going to be part 2 of the Getting Started in Dropshipping series. The second most asked question I get from people who are struggling to get started or still debating on whether or not they want to get into dropshipping is related to budgeting. A lot of people don't know how much money you need to invest in this business in order to be successful. And one of the most attractive things about this business model is that it doesn't require a massive investment in order to get your business off the ground. When you're looking at most entrepreneurial endeavors, they normally require a pretty large lump sum of money to get the business off the ground. With dropshipping, it does not. I started my company with $500, and actually I didn't even have the $500. I just used a credit card that I was already like $10,000 in debt on. And but I told myself I'm going to spend $500 and see how this thing plays out. It's worth a shot. It's worth the $500 to me to at least see how it plays out. Now, it's important, and I would assume that most of you already know this, it's important not to invest any money in any business or anything unless you're willing to lose that money. You have to go in. You can't go into this. You don't want to mortgage your house so that you can start dropshipping. Like, you don't want to bet money that you can't lose. And you don't want to go into it with the assumption that you're going to lose the money, but you have to be okay with losing it in order to be able to think clearly and be creative through the process. You have to be willing to spend that money and be willing to lose it in order to get honest results from it. So let's assume, and I'm going to break down the math a little bit for you. Let's assume you've got $500 to start this business. That's all you're willing to invest, much like I did. I'm going to go through what that would look like for you guys and how you could make the most of that money and how it would actually play out and potentially snowball into a 7, 8-figure, 9-figure business within a few years. So let's say you got $500. With $500, the way that I would approach this with one of my clients is, I would say, we're going to run ad sets at $5 a day. We're only going to do one ad set per product, and we're only going to target the US. Most viral winning products will perform best in the US. There's a small minority of products that will work better in Europe or better in other countries than they do in the US. But for the most part, the products that really crush it, the ones we're really looking for, do very well in the US. So I would stick your targeting to just the US when you're starting. It's also the lowest risk. So you're going to run into the least amount of shipping problems, the least amount of payment processor problems. It's the safest way to go. So let's say we're going to spend $5 a day per product. We're going to pick one interest that that we think works for this product. And we're going to do this across 5 different products. So essentially, you're going to spend $25 a day testing. We're going to pick 5 products that we want to try, and we're going to spend $5 per product. That's $25 a day. You should know within the first 4 days whether or not that product is going to get purchases, okay? If you don't get a purchase in the first 4 days, you might as well just turn it off and move on to something else. A winning product should get a purchase in the first 4 days, first $20 spent. It's pretty realistic. The average cost per purchase on Facebook right now is about $10 to $15. So a winning product should get a purchase within that range. Obviously, there are exceptions to this, but I'm just going off of what I would do if I was consulting with someone that had $500 to spend. So, $25 over 4 days, that's $100. Now, even if those products aren't winners, generally speaking, if you're doing a decent job with your product research and you're not throwing crap up, you should recoup. Even if you're not making money, profit, you should recoup 50% of the money you spent on ads. So let's say you recoup 50%. I'm saying, like, worst case scenario, you should be recouping 50%. If you're not getting any purchases, then your research method needs a lot of help, and you need to do some studying on how to do product research before you go any deeper into this. And for those of you that are familiar with my methods, you know that I preach that you should look for original, unique products that haven't been exploited by a lot of people, right? It's not that I believe in saturation, but I do believe that if you're the first person to find a product, you're going to get the best margins, you're going to make the most money. If you are competing with a bunch of other dropshippers for the same product, all you're going to be doing is picking up crumbs, especially if you're competing in a low budget range. You might get a sale here, you might get a sale there, but you're never going to get into the range of extreme profitability. It's never going to be worth your time. So back into it. Let's say you recoup 50% of the money that you invested in the ads off of your sales. You still have to fulfill the orders and stuff, but let's say you recoup 50% of your money. So now you have $450 and you haven't found a winner. Okay. Now the next week you're going to launch 5 new products. You're going to spend $100. You're going to recoup 50% of it. You can repeat this process. And if you just, I hope you guys know how to do math. Get a little notepad and write it out. You should be able to test 40 to 50 products with $500. You should be able to. As long as you're recouping a little bit of money on each launch, you should be selling some stuff. Even if it's not profitable, you should be getting a sale here and a sale there and recouping a little bit of your money. Now, so if we're testing 40 to 50 products, what I see with a lot of new people is that it takes them 30 to 50 products to find their first winner. And then after that, you get incrementally better as you go along. So like I'm at the point now where I'm probably at on an average somewhere between a 10 to 20% success rate. So 1 out of every 5 or 1 out of every 10 products that I launch ends up being a winner. And that's just because I've been doing this for so long. And I've seen all the products. I know what's out there. I know when something new pops up, and I'm pretty consistent in my testing and scaling strategy. So I know what I'm doing. But for newbies, it's usually 30 to 50 products. And if you've tested 50 products and you haven't found a winner, then you're doing something terribly wrong. You could literally pick any category on AliExpress right now and take the first 50 products just in order and launch them all. And I bet you'd find a winner. I'm 99% sure you'd find a winner if you just did the first 50 products. I don't see it not happening. So, anyways, with $500, you should be able to test 40 to 50 products, and you should be able to find one winner out of that. Now, that one winner will last you, should produce a profit for the next, depending on how aggressive you scale, it could last anywhere from 4 to 8 to 12 weeks, okay? In my stores, our winners generally last 4 to 6 weeks because we scale very aggressively and burn the product out before the competition can come in and try to steal it. So, now, if you're starting out with a $5 budget, it's going to be very hard to be aggressive. It's going to take you a while to scale those numbers up, but it should be able to produce a reasonable profit for you for the next 2 months, okay? And if that product is making you $100, $500 a day. I've seen products make $10,000 a day. It depends on the product. Everything depends on the product and your ability to test and scale appropriately and systematically and to know what you're doing. But I'm not going to get too into those specifics right now because we're just discussing budget. But that product should produce profit on a daily basis for the next 2 months. And if it does that, then what you're doing is you're recouping money to go back into your ad spend pile that you started with. And as that money comes back into the ad spend pile, you're spending more of that money on testing more and more products. And maybe now you can test 10 a week instead of 5 a week. And as you do this, and as you think about this, if you find one winner every 2 weeks and they last 8, then you should have 4 winners running simultaneously by the end of the 2 months. And if you have 4 winners running simultaneously, you should be making $2,000 a day net profit. And so it's not about this like make money fast. I mean, yes, it does. It can and does happen fast, but you need to think about a gradual progression in your business and about the snowball effect is what, it's really what it is. It's a snowball effect. So if my team can launch 50 products a week and we have a 10% success ratio, then we're finding 5 winners every week and they're lasting 6 weeks, right? So we should have 20 to 30 winning products running simultaneously all the time. And those winning products supply more money so that we can do more testing with plenty of money left over for profit. So that's how the dropshipping business works, guys. You can definitely start a successful dropshipping store with $500. It's totally possible. You don't need to buy a bunch of apps. You don't need to do all this extra shit. You just need to test 5 products at a time, $5 a day for 4 days. Kill the ones that didn't get a sale, scale up the ones that did. If you want to know the exact testing and scaling strategy, obviously I have that out there for you guys. You can find the link in the description. And if you have any more questions about budgeting or anything like that, go ahead and drop it in the description and I'll address it. I'll respond to you guys, do my best to do so. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram, subscribe to this channel, please, and hit the like button. And I'll see you in part 3 coming up soon.